Good morning, everybody. It is Thursday, April the 30th. We are the crew of Proven Performer, and this is the Made in Paradise podcast where we talk about big inventory sales and we help you solve your big inventory problems. We'll talk about some deals at the end of the podcast. We've got $315,000 worth of dining tables with the natural wood edge. We've got, believe it or not, 23 trailers of whiskey to talk about. So that's an interesting one for us. And I try to load a Home Depot blinds also. So we'll talk about all that at the end of the episode. But right now, we're going to talk about life and love and other issues. Anthony Ferguson, what's on your mind this morning?
Well, you said let's talk about life and love. Do you think power changes people or reveals them?
Well, both. Does it change people or reveal them? I mean, it's definitely going to change them from your perspective. It's going to change them. I think that from their perspective, it probably changes them, right? I mean, because we talk about people being drunk with power. And I can think of situations in my life where you have someone like an airport security guard, right? And he's managing a taxi line, right? And he's in charge of that taxi line. If you do anything, you don't go to the taxi he says to go to or whatever, right? He's going to blow his whistle at you. But he has a sense of power, right? So he's been empowered. He feels like I have power over you if you're in my taxi line, right? And so he might be corrupt and favor certain, taxistas over another. Who knows? But drunk with power, right? Think I have power. We have that same problem with, certain Latin American police officers.
Yeah, definitely.
So, but I think money and power are the same thing. And when a person gets inundated with it, they get soaked in it, covered in it, empapada, right? In power or money, either one, that whatever their worst traits are, here they come. Right? That's why the people in Hollywood always have so much problem. You would think, like those people in Hollywood, they can pay for everything. They got trainers and managers and lawyers and CPAs and life coaches and chefs and everything they get paid for. They're always getting in trouble. Right.
Yeah,
They have too much power over their life.
Yeah, it's funny because they got all the money in the world and drunk driving accidents or whatever it may be. And they have so much money, they can pay for somebody to drive them.
Yeah,
exactly. Right.
Right.
Or pay for an Uber. One of the two.
Pay for a guard to stop some paparazzi from taking a photograph. Right. I mean, just on and on and on. But stupidity reigns.
And it's amazing.
So did it answer your question?
Right. So that means to say people lie more to others or to themselves. That's what you mean to say. So I'm lying.
I think we lie to others at exactly the same amount we lie to ourselves. I think there's a good case to be made for that. You stop lying to yourself, you don't lie to anybody else either. Because you've realized that lying doesn't have a value.
Right,
yeah.
Right. So in your scenario, what about your own life that you are still trying to? What question in your own life you are still trying to answer? That you say, you know what, I didn't do this correctly, or I haven't done this correctly.
What question in my own life am I still trying to answer?
Right.
Ooh. That's a deep subject, and you only have a 7-minute segment. You're 4 minutes and 30 seconds into it.
I gotta use my 7 minutes, right?
I think that all the major religions, spiritual teachings come back to I am, right? Each of us is God in our own reality.
Okay.
And so if you listen to the teachers, I mean, I'm talking about going back hundreds of years, right? You listen to all these different teachers teaching the same thing, saying that your thoughts control your life. Your thoughts are projecting your reality. Everything outside of you started inside of you, right? And so they say that we are God and we have brought ourselves and put ourselves into this situation specifically to take these experiences, right? To take these experiences as lessons for enjoyment, for whatever reason, but that each of us has the full power of God within us, right? I'm getting to answer your question. So one of the questions that I have in my mind is that if my reality intersects with your reality, right, then how can I impose my will on you into your reality? And how can you impose your will on me in my reality? You're the one that asked this question, right?
Yeah.
And so I wonder to myself, he said, okay, well, I have free will to create my entire reality, but don't I impose on other people? Which then leads me to think, okay, well, maybe I'm alone in my reality and you're just projections. And for each of you, you're alone in your realities, and everything else in your reality is a projection. And literally the people in your realities, you're projecting them, and you can change them to be however you think them to be, right?
If you could leave the board.
Because I completely believe in manifesting, right? I completely believe you get focused on something and you will manifest that thing. Now, the less specific you are, the easier it is.
It's a great book, The Law of Attraction.
Oh, right.
Well, but this is way into it, right? Because there's a law beyond the law of attraction, and that's the law of assumption.
All right, I read that one.
Right? You assume that it's already done, and you try to assume the feeling that it's already done, and that state is the most attractive state for manifesting.
Right.
I believe that's true. I'm just saying, will we have limits in this? Is there any limit to it? So if that's true, that I'm completely directing my own reality, then I can live as long as I want to.
Right.
I mean, technically right now I'm 55, 56 years old. So if I live another 20 years, I'm going to see the emergence of whatever this AI is going to be. But for one thing is sure, is that if we're not dead, it's going to improve medicine exponentially. So they'll probably have injections they can give you and just make you younger, right? Stuff like that. Because they'll just know how to repair the cells, all this stuff. So I'm saying it's within my realm of belief that I might think I'm going to live to 227.
Wow.
But my reality is my reality, right? Maybe in your reality, you don't believe anybody lives past 100. And so in your reality, everybody dies at 100, including me.
Right.
In the ancient books, they always say that the people live 200, 300, even longer years.
Yeah, well, Methuselah, right, was the name Methuselah means the end of an age. He lives to like 900 supposedly, right?
Sure.
So Methuselah dies, and then you have Noah's Ark right after that. That's when supposedly God flooded the whole world. But that's time for another discussion. Darin Fingleton. Happy Thursday, Darin. What do you have for us today?
Well, it's certainly a curveball to what we were discussing, but yesterday you wanted to bring up unmanifested inventory, so I just thought it'd be good to bring it up. Do you think they're okay? Is there certain categories you think that stray away from? Give us your thought.
I think you have to keep absolute control over your inventory. You have to really, really know it. Let's say you're buying unmanifested stuff, and the first thing popped into mind is, like Amazon high piece count, right? So you're buying that stuff and it's unmanifested, and they're telling you there's about this many pieces in it. And from having sold it in the past, there's a lot of argument because they're putting their cost in there per piece. So whatever they buy it for, they're counting up the number of pieces in the whole thing and then saying, well, that's our cost of all of it. So they're wanting the piece count to be as high as possible to drop the cost down. So when they bring it into their inventory, they're averaging their cost down, right? They're not averaging their cost up. So it looks like they're making money. But they're just averaging everything in there by the piece, right? They're just, and you know what that stuff looks like, right? So in order to have proper accounting, I have to be able to say, okay, I've sold this, and this is my cost of goods sold. And it's very hard to say what your cost of goods sold is. And the second thing is that the rest of the stuff that's sitting out there, what's the value of it, right? Now, one thing about a lot of the bin stores is they clear everything out, right? They clear everything out. And so I can see in that you've cleaned up your accounting from an inventory perspective, right? But like you and I discussed the other day, you were going back into some of our leads and checking on a bunch of bin stores, and they're just gone, right? You said more than half of them, right, are just out of business.
Yeah.
And so, okay, well, they didn't make money. Right? That's real simple. They didn't make money, and most of them sold goods that were not inventoried. And I look at business in the United States and our customers, and I'm thinking of one of our customers in California that has a retail store, not too big, but twice the size of a Dollar General, and outside of Los Angeles. The rent's expensive, but they're always buying, not very big clothes, a pallet of this, pallet of that, pallet of the other stuff, whatever. And it's all brand new, and it's all sorted, and some of it's short date, but they have an exact inventory of everything, right? So he can look down and say, that inventory out there in that building is worth X dollars, and this is my cost of goods sold. And he can take proper accounting of all of that. But when you're just buying what we call in Louisiana a pig in a poke, right? You're just buying something unknown. I just don't think it's good. I don't think unmanifested is good at any point. And
you think the reason for that is the labor costs, the having to try to organize that and get it straightened out? Or do you think?
Well, when you're talking about Amazon high piece count, a bunch of it's in brown boxes. So you have to open it and look at it to see what it is. And then in order for a customer to see what it is, they have to open it and look at it, which automatically makes your whole store into a disaster, right? And so, like I said, I mean, we talk about having guests on the show. After the first month of doing it, we have some guests on the show. We already have people asking to be guests on the show. Great. I would like to talk to bin store owners who can say, John, you're wrong. This deal makes money, right? This really, really makes money, because I think in the end of this, again, why I don't personally like to sell returns is I feel like I'm just selling the dream, right? Like I'm selling a lottery ticket. You're going to scratch it off. You're going to make money or you're not. And it can be, all three of us, we just a year ago were going through, different people's returns, and you can get into one pallet and you can go, wow, this is exciting. And you get into the next one and go, oh my God, I'm going to have to donate this stuff. Yeah.
Yep.
And so just in the business, and that's where we were talking about the mystery boxes yesterday. What are you going to do? I think people in their house, you could go out and buy a pallet, bring it back to your garage. I mean, I did a lot of that in my younger days. I did a tremendous amount of that, right? Filling up my pickup truck with stuff and bringing it back to my house and selling it on eBay. And, I remember when I got my 128K modem, I was so excited. ISDN is what that was called. Right. And so you could get an ISDN modem and it would let you go at 128K. Of course, you had to rent the modem too, because every modem out there was only 56K at the time. And I remember they had to run the line, and I remember them running it and everything. I was so excited because it would let me go faster and list more stuff. We were selling on eBay and we were selling on AOL in the classified ads section of AOL. And
I don't even remember AOL. I know the email address. But.
America Online, yeah. And so we were, it was genuinely amazing, right? It was genuinely amazing. We got the bank to let us to punch the credit card numbers in, which was very hard, right? There's no online credit card. That didn't exist. So a person would place an order, and you had to call them on the phone, or they had to call you, give you their credit card number. And then you had to have the bank's permission to put that number into the terminal, right? So they had to give you a special terminal because everything else was set up for a swipe. So they had to give you the terminal. So my wife would sit there sometimes for 2 hours to punch in all the credit card numbers, right? So, but the phone calls might take 2 hours as well. She's calling them, hi, how are you? Da 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 da. Right. And then PayPal comes out, right? And when PayPal comes out, my wife is doing all the payments, and she says, have you seen where PayPal's giving $10 when you get people to sign up for a PayPal account? And it may have started at $25 or something. And it was 25, and they quickly went to 10, and then it was at the end of it, it was 5. But I remember it was $10 they would give you to sign someone up. And I said, yeah, I saw that. She goes, well, can I change the email and da-da-da-da, and you give me that money? And I thought, okay, sure, I'll give you that money. I mean, we were doing so much business on eBay. She made $2,500. Remember, this is like 30 years ago, whatever. She made $2,500 in less than 2 months, just signing up people for PayPal, because it was so inconvenient. Everything else, right? Everything else was clunky and inconvenient, and a blast from the past y'all probably didn't want to know about. You're not going to get that time back in your life.
Well, PayPal is still going on today, but I can only imagine on how different it was back then. But just saying that, you'd call someone and give them your credit card number, and that trust doesn't really happen much these days.
Oh, no. No, everybody wants that little secure lock and everything in their browser. Mm-hmm. All right, we're going to talk about deals just shortly, but what I want to talk about today is get away from people who waste your time. Right? If you have people in your life, especially in your business, that waste your time, you need to say to yourself, gosh, I'm spending time with this person. I'm, investing time and showing them deals and talking to them and so on and so forth. A lot of times you work in a big deal and you talk to all kinds of people, but a lot of times I might work a deal for 2 weeks with someone and you just don't get anywhere. But there's a time when you have to say, okay, my time investment's not paying off here. I need to put my time somewhere else. And you've always been able to get some more money, but you don't have any more time, and you don't know how much time you have. So your time is really the most valuable thing that you have. More than anything else. I mean, circumstances could change tomorrow. You could be a billionaire, right? You just don't know. But you don't know how much time you have. And no matter how much money you got, you may not be able to extend that time very far. So when you have someone in your life and you say, is this person wasting my time, or do they help me invest it wisely? Right?
I agree. Definitely. Right. So let me ask you this. We always have all these great deeds going on the podcast. Do you believe most people recognize a real opportunity?
Do I believe that most people recognize a real opportunity? Our deals are very big, right?
Right.
And so our buyers are very big, and sometimes we have smaller deals. I mean, I'm in the middle right now selling half a trailer load of those Delta shirts that we advertised yesterday. A lady up in Canada saw the podcast or saw something and reached out to me, and I never heard of her before, and said, hey, I'm really interested in those shirts because I'm going to go into the t-shirt printing business up here, like an Etsy kind of a business where you're printing your own t-shirts, printing your own stuff on them and then selling them on. And she said, this is a really great opportunity to buy these shirts so cheap and print on them and then get real money for it. I'm like, yeah, it is. It's a really good opportunity. So do most people recognize an opportunity? I think a lot of people recognize our stuff is very cheap, but it takes the right buyer to buy it, right? And one of the things that we're going to do in the future episodes of this podcast is I'm going to bring on some people who sell in smaller lots, right, in smaller quantities. And recognizing an opportunity in this business has a lot of facets to it, but you better know how to comp things online. You better know how to get online and understand, what is this selling for? What are comparable items selling for? What is it sold for before? Right?
Right.
But I think a lot of people in our business do recognize an opportunity pretty readily. Right? So yeah, that's a good deal. And they do know how to go out on the internet and do their research. Most of the people that I find that I deal with are just intelligent folks. They're well educated and intelligent, and probably that means that they've been burned before, and then they've made their way to me, and now that they've learned their lessons. But most people, you're still in business, and you're in your 50s. You know what you're doing. We're at the 21-minute mark. It's time to talk about some deals.
Hey, Darin. Sorry, go ahead.
The very first one I'm talking about today is these Domeska tables. And so this is 55 tables. They're all brand new in the original boxes. See that a lot of them have the natural wood edge, all dining tables, right? So these are enormous. This is $315,000 worth of tables at retail, right? So about $5,700 per table.
Whoa.
These are in Texas. We have a full inventory. You're welcome to inspect them. And the asking price is at $800 per table. So 55 units.
A full trailer?
55 units. Yeah, I think it may take 2 trailers.
Okay.
Because this stuff is big, right? I mean, it doesn't look that big right there, but it's huge. And most of it is solid oak, right? So you just think about how much oak wood you got in some of this stuff. But beautiful tables from the brand Domeska out of Texas. $315,000 at retail. Average retail per table of $5,700. Looked at one this morning, it was $7,900. I mean, you got to imagine that's probably $7,000 or $8,000, right? It's all very, very unique stuff. We have the manifest we can provide to you. Asking price is $800 a table.
Mm-hmm. So, Darin, would you start a business without social media today?
No, you have to have social media today. It's the only way to be able to get marketing out. If you're not posting on social media, I don't think you're going to make it very far anymore.
Right.
Word of mouth does get around, but you need social media to really ramp it up.
Right. Mm-hmm. So, and you recommend to combine social media with the AI, or you just go to the old school? We call it the old school.
Well, I mean, AI certainly is a great tool, but I mean, there definitely has to be some personality in your social media account. You can't just rely on AI to do everything.
Right.
This is an entire trailer of Champion blinds. This is a Home Depot brand. We have a manifest on this too. About 5,400 units. Asking price is $3 a piece, so about $15,000 for the trailer. These average retail about $100 a piece. Right, about $100 per blind. About 5,000 pieces. About 5,000 pieces here. And are y'all still seeing the video move, or did it freeze?
No,
it's freeze.
It's frozen for me.
It froze on me too. I'm not sure what happened.
Oh, just hit play again.
Yeah.
Well, it's just frozen. So we have a manifest. We can send. We have more pictures. Champion blinds by Home Depot, about 5,000 pieces at $3 a piece. Last one I want to talk about today is 23 trailer loads of whiskey, mostly peanut butter flavored whiskey, which I had never heard of before. But this is coming from a warehouse lien. All the taxes are paid. There's some of this Nuku bourbon cream.
Can you zoom in on that a little bit, just so that people can see it? Okay, interesting.
But this is
milk.
there's less of this. Most of the inventory is this peanut butter flavored whiskey.
Interesting.
And so we're talking about 23 trailers worth. Average retail on this stuff is around $25 or $30 a bottle. Asking price is $3 a bottle. How about that?
Right.
$3 a bottle. Yes.
For some reason, for some reason, the case remind me of popcorn boxes.
Right. It does. That's what it looks like. Right. It looks like popcorn. It looks like movie theater popcorn boxes. But you can see with the dust on the top.
Mm-hmm.
It's been sitting there. It's been sitting there a while. This is a warehouse lien, right? So somebody's got 23 trailer loads. I think you can only put, because of the weight, like 18 pallets per trailer.
We call that aging.
It was so heavy. Aging, yeah.
That's some aged whiskey there.
Yeah. All right, everybody. Thanks for watching. I'm John Clark, along with my co-host Darin Fingleton and Anthony Ferguson, and this has been the Made in Paradise podcast. We're doing this 5 days a week, so we're going to see you again tomorrow. Have a beautiful, prosperous day. Thanks so much.
See you guys.
Ciao.